hey there, this is Todd, just letting you know that we're doing a little video here about sites in and around Atlanta, Georgia, which has become, for those of you who don't know it, a type of little Hollywood. It's incredible the number of productions and studios that are being built in and around the Atlanta area. Jocelyn and I had a chance this summer to go visit quite a few of them and see quite a few things in and around the area, and so this video is just some of those things that we saw. We hope you enjoy. One of the first places that we visited, you're gonna see is J. Strom Thurmond Dam. You'll probably, if you're a Hunger Games fan, recognize it immediately, the actual picture when you see it, because it was one of the principal setups when they first take the train to the Capitol. And it was kind of neat to be able to actually stand in front of this thing, because I mean, they changed the backgrounds quite a bit. Obviously, they put the Capitol in the background and all that kind of thing for the movie, but the actual dam itself, they did not change a single bit. It's pretty amazing how it looks just like it does when you stand right in front of it, except of course the big capital city for the districts is not sitting there behind it. But it was a cool place to visit. It's actually about 2 hours east of Atlanta near Augusta, Georgia, so it's a bit of a drive from Atlanta, but it was a good trip. Our next stop was actually in the city of Atlanta, the High Museum of Art, which the Divergent series used as the erudite headquarters. And that was also kind of neat. Aside from the fact that it was a movie site, the exhibits inside of it were amazing to visit. I highly recommend visiting it if you ever get into Atlanta, Georgia. Fantastic place. They filmed both outside and inside of it because it's a very modern looking building. Great place to visit. Highly recommend it. So that kind of brings us to one of the bigger parts of our trip that Jocelyn and I took. We went with the Atlanta Movie Tours, who is a great company, and they are the ones who do the zombie tours in the area, because The Walking Dead, if you don't know it, is filmed all over the Atlanta, Georgia area and just south of it, and several little towns down there. And these tours, they have 3 different tours in 3 different places, all 3-hour tours, and they are absolutely incredible. I highly recommend any one of them. We took Big Zombie Tour number 3, and we were not disappointed. It was absolutely outstanding, and you're going to be seeing both films and videos from that tour. We're not going to show you the whole tour, because that's not nice, and that's their bread and butter. You guys need to go take that tour. You are going to see a few clips from there, but I cannot recommend it enough. It was amazing. Jocelyn and I had a fantastic time taking these tours with the Atlanta Movie Tours and Big Zombie Tour number 3. So, without further ado, we need ourselves an entrance into the Big Zombie Tour, and Jocelyn was good enough to film one on the fly when we were in one of the museums. So, here's that entrance that Jocelyn put together for you. Jocelyn, we're looking for walkers. Yes, we are. Port City crew going to the walkers. And take a video of the graveyard looking for walkers. Alright, so I was a little excited for the tour. What can I say? Alright, before we went on our tour, though, we stopped in the town of Senoia, Georgia, which is just south of Atlanta. For those of you who watch the show, Senoia is known as Woodbury in the show. They actually filmed in and around the show, in and around the town. As you can see this clip here, it looked quite differently in the show, but this is what it looks like now. And it has some awesome stuff in it, including the Walking Dead store. That's a simple title, but it pretty much tells you what's there. It's a complete store with Walking Dead things, including in its basement a bunch of props from the actual show that is there. It's freaking awesome. So we took a lot of pictures and had a good time there at the Walking Dead store. A lot of autographs, including Norman Reedus there on the wall. It also has a little coffee shop called The Waking Dead. I personally thought that was an amazing coffee shop. I got the Glen, which is an iced mocha. It was good stuff. Jocelyn got the caramel milkshake, which is the Carl. And great store. Highly recommend both those places. Also, something we didn't know is there is actually built right next to the town of Senoia are the sets for Alexandria, which is famous in the show. You know what that is. Security keeps you from getting too close because they still do active filming there, and I do believe there are even people living there, but Alexandria is there. From there, we drove slightly south to Harrelson, Georgia, another small town just outside of Atlanta, and that's where they do a lot of current filming, and that is the beginning for Zombie Tour number 3. As you can see here, they take you in all kinds of places. Some of it's walking, some of it's in a nice air-conditioned bus where they show you clips and all kinds of things like that. But you can see some of the sights there. And our tour guide, Colin, was nice enough to explain one of the many reasons that they film in this particular area.
It does not take long to get outside of Atlanta and find some post-apocalyptic remains.
And he wasn't kidding, because I tell you what, we passed a lot of places that look like they've just been sitting there since the end of time. But they showed us a lot of things. Right here, you can see him showing us, this is where they shot the scene where Daryl sees his brother, who tried to be a good guy for a short time, and then he had to kill him because he had turned. You can see the inside of the bus. They've got a little video system where when they take you to certain sites, and even if you get on or off the bus, they show you some of the scenes that you're about to see or you have just driven past or going to see. It's a great tour where you do a lot of driving. You can see Jocelyn and I there having a famous meeting, just like the governor and Rick. Takes us down the streets. A lot of fun stuff to see, including some really good stories.
And all that stuff, right? Remember I told you they can't have any talking on set. We pantomime a lot of our conversations and everything, right? Hers is the same thing. She's on the ground and she's saying, go, don't worry about me or leave me or whatever, right? Those walkers coming up to her and biting her and everything aren't making any noise. She said that was the creepiest thing she had ever been through. Because all these walkers are going, right? Nothing. And she's like, it's quiet and it's just eerie. Hate it.
So like I said, I'm not going to show you the entire tour. That would be wrong, because you need to go down there and just see these tours. There's a bunch of them. They're fantastic. But I do want to show you this one sample just so you kind of get the picture of the way they set the scenes up as they're taking you there. So here he is, our tour guide Colin, taking us into the alley where the famous dumpster scene was, where Glenn was trapped at the end of a very heart-wrenching season. So this is how he sets it up as he's taking us into the actual place where they filmed it. Enjoy that.
So let's not do that. And Glenn says, what are we gonna do? And he says, this way. And he leads him down this alleyway. Which is kind of funny. Because instead of choosing another road, he leads them down an alley that is closed off. Right? In the distance, you see the fence. You see the dumpster. They put up their own fence up here, so it is not the whole length of this thing. They put a fence running along the street right here, along this alleyway, with tarps over it. Right, so you can't easily go that way. They don't notice that fire escape until they're already past it, and the walkers have gotten past it. Street art. So, when they come here, Glenn, of course, tries this door, can't get in it. Oh well. He goes to hop the fence right here. Walkers are at that fence on the other side. Nicholas does the same. So they come and start firing at the walkers who are already past the fire escape, so now they can't even get to the fire escape. And there you go, right? And then they get on the dumpster. We know the rest of that story. Nicholas does his thing, drags him down, he gets under the dumpster. When he comes out from that dumpster, Enid is right up there on top of this green building, and she's like, heads up, throws the water bottle, all that stuff, right? They film inside that building. When they get done, Enid escapes, comes out here, right? She goes down the road that they didn't show you to begin with. She comes out here and makes a right. Go figure.
I think that somebody just drew that.
So after our really cool tour, we headed back north to Senoia, where we ate at the restaurant called Nick and Norman's, which is owned by Greg Nicotero and Norman Reedus, both from the Walking Dead show. And I got to tell you, it was a great meal. We really enjoyed it. Food was good. I do not find the prices too oppressive. It was a lot of fun. Jocelyn and I and our two guests had a good time. And we thank Nick and Jessica, family and friends, for joining us on this zombie tour and putting up with Jocelyn and I geeking out to zombies all day long. And one of our last stops for the week that we were there was the Atlanta History Center, where not only can you see Michonne's katana on display, but you can also see the historic Swan House, which has been used in many films. As far as science fiction genre goes, this was President Snow's mansion in the Hunger Games franchise. And while we were there, they were filming, or getting ready to film some stuff. We were still able to see the mansion. And one of the folks there, even though they weren't supposed to, let slip that they were filming a new TV show that's going to be a kind of sequel to the MacGyver TV show. This time his son is going to be taking over the adventures, apparently. That's what we were told by one of the folks there who were setting up. And with that, it was time for Jocelyn and I, after being there for a week, to head back to California. And our movie site tour of Atlanta, Georgia area was over. We hope you have enjoyed this. And we hope to do more road trips soon with a whole bunch more of the Port City guys. We'll see how that goes. But thank you very much. We hope you enjoyed.